Many of you have been asking for a complete strategy to trade the crypto market. So let's do it. Hello everyone, Richard here and welcome to a new episode here on AltCryptoTalk. Today I'll be sharing a simple yet powerful strategy I've been using for years to trade crypto, both longs and shorts. So let's get started, and of course don't forget to smash that like button if you like such content. Starting with Monero as an example. Let's keep it simple for now as it's the first episode, market structure 101, price action and so on. You'll need two time frames. The first one is the bigger one to get a feeling about the overall direction. For example, on Monero, we have been overall bearish here, stuck within a big range right there as a big accumulation phase, and then after breaking it to the upside, we started the overall bullish trend. Then you will need a lower time frame. For example, we'll go for daily time frame to look for entries. So, as an example, as I mentioned previously, you don't need moving averages, just pure price action. We might get into more advanced stuff later on, including risk to reward ratio, where we put your stop loss and so on, but for now, let's keep it simple. We have been trading within a big range, so let's highlight the upper band of the range and the lower band of the range. So around this area, you can zoom into lower time frames already. Let's go for visibility. Perfect. It's already on daily time frame. And then as price approaches the upper bound of it, you can look for shorts around this area. And of course, vice versa, as price approaches the lower bound of it, you can look for longs. As a confirmation, you simply wait for a break above the previous major high. Let's go for red to change color for it to be visible for you. And that's it. We have been bearish, retesting the lower bound of this range, which we highlighted or we found on weekly time frame. Once we broke above this area with a big momentum candle close above this previous major high, you can already go long and target the upper bound, and vice versa. Again, I will not dive into risk management and so on. It depends if you trade it through spot or futures. Of course, for longs only. For shorts, you will have to go for futures, and vice versa. As you approach the upper bound, you can wait for the price to break below a major low. For example, let's go for this one, and here we go. This was your entry right there, and then it depends where is your target, and vice versa. Once we break above this big range, now we are in a bullish trend. In a bullish trend, price starts to create big impulse movements, pushing the price higher, small correction movements, and the opposite direction of the overall trend. Big impulse, correction, and you are currently in this impulse phase. When you are in a bullish trend, of course, you will take an example of a bearish trend in a bit, but for now, let's focus on the bullish trend. When you are in a bullish trend, you don't want to be buying in the middle or the end of the impulse. Always wait for a correction, and then we'll start looking for trend following longs, right? As traders, our main job is to find an edge, and you don't want to be buying at the end of the movement. Instead, you want to be buying at the start of the movement. For example, we have been overall bullish, let's say like this, and when price retests the lower bound, you can zoom into lower time frames like daily. Let's make it visible on daily first. Perfect. And then you zoom into daily time frame and wait for the price to break above a previous major high. For example, just like this. Once we break above this area, you can already go long. For example, now on XMR, you don't want to be buying this one right now. Instead, you want to wait for it to make a retest, break a major high, and then this is where you will be jumping in. Vice versa. Let's take an example for a falling trend. Let's say here for virtual on daily time frame, this is where we will be finding the overall direction, and then we'll be zooming into a lower time frame like H4 to look for trades. First, overall direction. We have been bullish here, and then price broke below these lows, now bearish, and then broke above these highs, bullish, broke below these lows, bearish, and now last but not least, we broke above this high. Now we are overall bullish, right? And we are currently in a correction phase. So of course, we'll be looking for trend following longs right there. You zoom into H4 time frame, and once price break above this area, which is also a very strong structure right there, previously support, turned into a resistance. Once we break above this area at 1.225, we can already go for longs. Now let's take an example of a bearish trend, as I promised, right? So after breaking below these lows and this head and shoulders pattern, the overall momentum or trend shifted from bullish to bearish, and as you can clearly see, price started to make big impulse movements pushing the price lower, small correction, bullish movements pushing the price in the opposite direction, bullish correction, bearish impulse, bullish correction, bearish impulse, and so on, until of course the price broke above the previous major high, as I mentioned previously, shifting the momentum again from bearish to bullish. And this big bearish trend, we of course were looking for trend following shorts. Let's take an example. Here we go. We broke below this low. Let's make it visible on H4 time frame. Perfect. Let's zoom into H4. And this is exactly where we started to look for trend following shorts. You wait for a correction in the opposite direction of this overall bearish trend, and then, as I mentioned previously, you zoom in, you wait for a previous major low to be broken downward. Let's go for blue to change color, and then this is where exactly you will be going short. That's one more example. You are still bearish, right? Wait for a low to be broken, and then you can go for shorts. Again and again, you wait for a correction, a low to be broken downward, you can go for shorts. Again and again, low to be broken downward, you can go for shorts. We'll be looking for shorts after every break of a low, until of course we change the overall direction. After we broke above this high, now we are only looking for longs. Try it on any chart, whether it's crypto or not, but of course let's focus on crypto first. Pick a time frame for overall direction and then a lower time frame to zoom in. Once you find the overall direction, zoom in and look for trend following longs or shorts. And of course, if you are inside the range, look for longs around the lower bound and shorts around the upper bound. Try it. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, if you find it beneficial, and of course let me know which topics you would like me to cover next. Maybe for the next episode we'll be covering where you put your stop loss, targets, and so on, and maybe we can cover different indicators, strategies, or even trading styles. And I'll see you hopefully on the next one.